Welcome back, happy hookers, and welcome to episode 3 in How to Crochet for Absolute Beginners. So far we've been learning how to crochet in rows, going back and forth and turning our work as we go along. We've mastered the chain stitch, we've mastered the single crochet, the smallest stitch, and we've also mastered the double crochet, one of the third largest stitches. And if we've been lucky enough to have had the time, we've had a go at putting all of these stitches into practice to create our first granny square. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at how to crochet in the round. I'll just grab the coaster so you can see this is one of my most popular coasters. It's a really gorgeous colour. We're going to have a go at crocheting in the round. So this doesn't require any turning, if you like, back and forth. We're simply going round and then round again. However, it isn't a spiral. It does actually have, can you see, defined concentric rounds, which is one of the reasons why this is a really good one for beginners, because it helps us to continue to keep count of our rows or our rounds, knowing exactly how many stitches we're putting in each. So to get started with circular crocheting, I'm going to take you straight in, jump you straight into how to create a magic circle. You will find circular patterns that ask you to chain three, join them together in a little circle and use that. I genuinely find for beginners that is very confusing. Trying to find where the centre of that is really difficult. So let's take a little bit of extra time and learn how to create a magic circle. So we're going to wrap our yarn around and cross it over like this. So we've got our tail end here. We're going to wrap it around and we're going to cross it over our fingers like so. Can you see? So we've got this top piece here and this bottom piece here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place our hook under the bottom piece and we're going to hook this top piece which is attached, can you see here, to the end that's leading to our ball, and we're going to pull it through like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spin our hook around. Can you see how I've spun that so that I can cross it over? Yeah. And then what I'm going to do then is I'm going to pick up this piece here and I'm going to pull it through that loop that I've created, and then I can release my fingers and I've created essentially a little slip knot onto this circle. I should have one loop going all the way around, one which is my end going this way, and one which is the end attached to my ball going this way. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to crochet around these two pieces of yarn, making sure that we crochet around the circle and crochet around the end, because this is essentially just a giant slip knot that at the end we will be able to pull tight so that we can pull any stitches that we've created tight into a little circle. So I'm going to demonstrate that one more time, and I do have a link above. I'll pop it now to another magic circle video if you want to just watch that and take some time just to create the magic circle. Okay, so take your yarn, your tail end, place it over your fingers, and you're going to wrap it around and you're going to cross it over the front and pinch it together with this ring finger. Then you're going to take your hook and insert it under the bottom one, picking up this one here, pulling it through, spinning it round so that you've created a little crisscross, and then you're going to pick up the same yarn again, pull up here. Can you remember what I said before? Pull up because you want to give yourself a little bit of a gap in that first one to be able to pull through to hook on to create your magic circle like this. So crocheting into a magic circle can be quite fiddly because again you've got nothing to hold on to. So I'm going to walk you through slowly a few tips and tricks to actually crochet into the magic circle. Now, if you're already familiar with this, by all means, well, if you're already familiar with the magic circle, you probably won't be watching how to crochet in the round because you'll know. But I'm going to really go through step by step. So first thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we've got here our yarn, and we're crocheting with our yarn attached to our ball, and that we're not crocheting with this loose end, because I've done that so many times. I've started crocheting round and then thought, oh no, I've actually used the piece that I'm going to pull. Oh, I'm getting a taffel here. I've used the piece that I'm going to pull here that I need to cut off. So think of this out the back as you would normally, and this is our work, and we're going to be inserting a hook every time into this huge space. Now if you want, you can make it a little bit smaller. If I pull this end here, will you see that's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, so maybe I'll make it a little bit smaller, a little bit manageable. We're only placing 6 single crochets into this, so it doesn't need to be excessively large. So we know the single crochet. It's just going to take a little bit of extra practice to pop it into a magic circle. So we insert into the circle, and I would hold the circle with our fingers, and we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull back through like this. And then what I do is I kind of pinch my circle and pull it down, squish it together, and hold it now with my other hand. Hold it with my hand attached to my hook, because I want to be able to now comfortably yarn over and pull through these 2 loops. And if I'm here, I might find it quite difficult. It's not unmanageable to pull through holding that, but often people find that if they swap it over into this one and then do that to yarn over, and then even swap back to pull through our first 2 stitches, or first 2 loops rather, so we have a single crochet in our circle. So let's try that again, making sure we're going around both pieces of yarn, holding our circle to help us be able to put that tension on and yarn over and pull back through. I just like to swap over so that I can kind of tighten and tidy those up, then pinching it again, pulling back through for our single. And you see our singles are building around. If these are loose, do not worry at all. It's possible that you might have got quite a good tension and then you find that they're loosening up. So we're pulling through, pinching that circle, pulling it down, creating a single, and we've got 3. Now it's probably a good idea to pop yourself a stitch marker into the first one you created. Hang on, I'll take that out so I can really show you. You're going to pop a stitch marker into that first stitch that we've created, so that we know when we get back to the middle, get back to the beginning. So we need 3 more single crochets in this circle. So 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 4 singles. Inserting, yarning over. I like to swap back over, yarn over, pinch it. There we go, we've got 5. And then we've got 6. Okay, so this is a really nice bit. So what I would do, take your hook out, give yourself a nice big loop, take your hook out, hold on to your row of single crochets, identify your tail end, keep your yarn end out of the way, and then I will slowly start to pull this closed. I wouldn't pull it all the way, just slowly. Can you see that? Slowly start to close, slowly start to spin round. And once, don't pull too tight, once it's kind of there and you feel that these 2 stitches will be able to comfortably meet, what you're going to do is you're going to put your hook back in. You're going to tighten that loop up. You're going to make sure you can see very clearly where you're going in that, so whether you want to go in under the stitch marker or take the stitch marker out, you're going to slip stitch into that 6th stitch. So you're going to insert your hook into that stitch, I would give this a little bit of a tighten to make sure that it's not too loose, and then I would yarn over, pull through the work, and then straight through that one there, and that actually then becomes the 6th stitch, the slip stitch, and we've joined it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to place our marker into that stitch, that last stitch that we've just created. So work down from the loop into the stitch that you've just created and pop yourself a marker in there. You will find when you do a slip stitch, can you see we've still got a little bit of the stitch hanging down to the side to the left, and if this were looser, can you see how you might think, oh, that's a stitch as well? But if we were to count backwards, we would find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is not a stitch. This is a stitch that we've just slip stitched into, but because it's got loose, can you see, it thinks it's still a stitch. So we do need to be really careful in making sure that we definitely know that this is our first stitch in our round, and that's where counting comes in. Counting is critical in the circular one. So I'm going to show you actually a diagram that really helped me understand how a circle is created, a flat circle. Now if you want to skip ahead, it's only going to be, a minute or two, but I think it will really help you understand how we increase this circle. So this circle is created using 6 in the centre. You can create a circle with any number, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It really doesn't matter. I've just chosen to create 6. And I'm going to bring this diagram up here. So this is our stitch anatomy, and this is our 6 in the centre. So we have 1 of each single crochet, and these are the lines, if you like, or these are the sections of our 6 stitches. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And every time we do a row or a round in this circle, imagine these are kind of like you've got 6 pieces of pie, and at the beginning of the 6 pieces you've got 1 stitch. Every time you do another round, that 1 stitch will become 2 stitches in the next round, and then it will become 3 stitches in the next round, and it will become 4 stitches in the next round. So we're placing an increase in each of the 6 segments of the piece. So we have 6 in the middle, and we need to take that 1 stitch, each of these 1s, and we need to make them 2s. So we always double on our second round, and that's kind of the simplest one to go with. So we always double. So we're going to place 2 single crochets in every stitch around, and again just keep count. You can count from 1 to 12, you can count 1, 2, 1, 2, and then make sure you get back to the beginning. So don't forget, we're not going into this sort of little stitch here that's fallen down. We're making sure we're going into this stitch here, and we're going to place 2 stitches in the same single crochet. So yarn over, insert yarn over, pull back through, 1 single crochet, go straight back in to the place where we single crocheted, and create another single crochet. Go to the next stitch, single crochet, just gonna get myself a little bit more yarn there, 1, 2, again single crochet, 1, 2, again 1, 2. This one's quite a big one, isn't it? 1, 2, and then we've got the last stitch. So, oh, sorry, it just completely knocked the camera. I actually went to put the stitch marker in my mouth. Old habits die hard. Holding the stitch marker in your mouth. So the last one, we're going to place 1, 2, And then what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into this next stitch. There we go. Pull it tight. We're then going to place our stitch marker here so that we know that that is our last. So that's our last stitch of our next round. And then count your 12 stitches. Really get into the practice. So you've got the one attached to here. Yeah, that's easy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put my finger on 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, this little bit here doesn't count because it's actually, if we pull the stitch over, is our 12th stitch. Cool. So the first 2 rows are dead easy. Single crochet any number in the middle and then simply put 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. Now in this instance we've gone 6 and then we've gone 12, but we could have easily gone 10 and then gone 20. The formula never changes, it just is how many sort of pieces of pie or sections that you've got. So let's take a little bit of a look at our diagram. So now what we need to do is we need to take where we've got 2 stitches, we've got 6 lots of 2 stitches. We want to get to 6 lots of 3 stitches. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do 2 single crochets in, not in each, in the first stitch. Yep. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. This is the bit where I regret that horrible little bit in the video. Okay, so 2 single crochets in the first, 1 single crochet in the next. Nice and easy. Okay, so let's give that a go. So the same as we did before, let's place 2 in this first one. Yep, so that's our increase. And then we're just going to place 1 in the next one. So dead easy. We've taken 2 stitches and we've replaced them with 3 by popping ourselves an increase and 1 single. So again, we pop yourself an increase by putting 2 into that one, but then you only put 1 into the next one. Okay, so 2 into the next one, 1 into the next one, bit more yarn, 2 into the next one, 1 into the next one, 2 into the next one. I feel like a broken record now. 2 into the next one, 1 into the next one, and you'll know you've got it right because you should end up with 2 stitches left, knowing that you're definitely putting 2 into this one and 1 into the one that your stitch marker's in. So there we go, 2 into the next one. Take our stitch marker out, try not to pop it in our mouth and hit our camera. 1 into the next one, and then a slip stitch to finish our round, and then we're going to pop our stitch marker back in to our slip stitch. Probably give ourselves a count up to make sure that we've got 18 stitches. So it's increasing by 6 every time because it started with 6. So we went 6, 12, 18. So next we're going for 24 stitches. So let's go back to our pie. We need to take 3 stitches, 6 lots of 3 to 4. And how do we do that? Exactly the same as before, but with an extra bit. We're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to do a single crochet in the next 2. And this is the number that's always going to be going up. you're always going to do an increase, but then your number of single crochets is always going to increase. So in row 5, you're going to be doing 2 single crochet in the first stitch, but then you're going to single crochet in the next 3. That makes sense? Always going to have an increase, but you're going to need to add 1 more to the single crochet to get around the piece of pie. And this pie analogies work very well in helping a lot of people understand how to create that flat circle. Okay, so let's get started on this round. We're going to place 2 single crochet into our first stitch. Then we're going to place a single in that one and a single in that one, because we've got 2 singles. And there we have, we've taken our 3 stitches in our segment and we've turned them into 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, so we've got an increase here, 1, 2, and then we're going to place a single crochet here and a single crochet here. So continue all the way around. There we go. So we place 2 into the next one, and then we've got 2 on their own. And use a notebook by all means, write down so you know which kind of round you're on. 2 into the next one, and then we've got 2 singles. I call them singles kind of because they are singles. You can refer to them however you want. Some people in patterns will simply just write increase, and that means place 2 stitches into 1 stitch. So here we're increasing, we're placing 2 into 1, and then we're creating our 2 singles. Oh. And then again, so we know that we're in the right track because here's our increase and here's our 2 singles left. So here's our increase and our 2 singles. So I'm going to take the stitch marker out, knowing that I've got 1, 2, there we go, and then we can pop ourselves. And now here we need to be careful, because sometimes what can happen is we can increase our stitches by mistake. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Put your finger on it. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So this definitely, this little one here, is our 24th stitch. And the reason I sometimes count is because this little one here that I always warned you about sometimes can be a little bit misleading, and you don't want to end up putting too many stitches in your round. So we're going to do a slip stitch into this one here. We're going to put our marker back in, and then we're going to carry on with our rounds and just keep going, and you can make this circle as big as you like. So next time, what are we doing? We're taking 4 stitches and we're turning them into 5. So we're popping an increase in, and this time we've got 3 singles. So we're going to increase, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3. Next time, next round, you're going to be going increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, because you need 4 stitches. Pardon me, I have a really bad hay fever at the moment. Pollen. Cool. So that is the essence of how to crochet in the round. Now you can do this with any stitch you like. I've just chosen to do it with a single crochet because it is one of the most easiest stitches to master. And the pattern, I mean, write yourself in a book, write the rows, draw the pie, however you feel comfortable, use stitch markers, count. Once you've mastered how to crochet in the round, a whole world of crochet opens up to you, and you'll be able to start to crochet forms, make spheres, make lots of beautiful coasters like these, which I have so many of in my house. So please keep practicing. Keep practicing crocheting the round, master that magic circle, and I'll see you next time. Happy hooking. I post new videos every Friday, so please do hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you get my notification for next week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.